Welcome to MNN Sports, where we give you everything sports. And out of that everything, today we're going to pull out bodybuilding. Now, not only is bodybuilding a sport, but it's a culture. It's a way of life. And we'll be delving into that way of life with DeCarlos Hill when we return after these messages. Welcome back, and thank you for tuning back in with us. As I was saying, I have with me DeCarlos Hill, and he is currently an NPC competitor, aspiring to be an IFBB pro. So without further ado, DeCarlos, how you doing, brother?
Hey man, I'm great, man. Thank you guys for having me on your platform. I feel awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Well, hey, man, we appreciate you coming on, man, because, anyone that is doing what you're doing in that lifestyle that they call a sport, it takes commitment. So I thought, why not bring that commitment on and let you take us into the world of bodybuilding? Now, before you do, I want to say one thing. You buffed, brother. You back in my day, they called it diesel. They called it yoked. What's the name now? What do y'all call yourself now?
Hey man, we just say swole, full, shredded, just
there you go. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I just want to get that out the way because I want to be politically correct.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Let me ask you this, brother. What and when did you get started with bodybuilding?
Hey, it's so crazy that you asked that. So when I initially would go to the gym, I started off in sports young, right? Playing basketball, I ran track, but going through life and having kids, I had my son in 2014. And when I had my son, unfortunately, immediately after, I was involved in a car to motorcycle accident where a guy in the car hit me while I was on my motorcycle. Knocked me off the motorcycle about 15 feet. Thank God that I was still able to make it and pull through, but it did snap my tibia in half, and I did have like tissue that was pretty much removed from my leg at the time. So I couldn't walk for like several months.
So now, did you have a helmet on?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And I had a full metal jacket, so I was pretty good at that end.
Okay, motorcycle riders out there, take heed.
Yes, definitely wear your helmets. That's definitely gonna help you out. So yeah, man. After we got into that accident, I couldn't walk for several months, and it was kind of depressing because I had just had my son,
right,
first boy in my life, and I couldn't really play with him or have fun with him. So it took me into a very dark place, and at that point, man, I was like literally just eating and laying around because I couldn't really walk around and move for too long.
Right.
And at that time, I gained up to about 338 pounds.
Wow, so, 338 pounds.
Yes. And you're talking about a skinny guy that came out of high school like 125 wet, right?
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So after, going to, therapy and everything and telling the therapist that I really want to start walking again. Hell, I even want to walk. I want to run. I just pushed myself as hard as I can. And as I was going to the gym, trying to get back just to a healthy state to even walk
Right,
again,
right.
a lot of guys were noticing my physique and, just saying, hey, I should definitely get into the bodybuilding world. As I was, continuing my journey to just get better and back into a good place, it did come into mind. I said, hey, I'll do one show. And I did one show in 2018. It was the Battle of Texas, and it was like phenomenal. I got on stage and I just it felt like home, and
So
that's
that
what
was
got
your
me
first
started in the
show,
bodybuilding. Yes, sir.
and you said it's something. You said it's felt like home,
Felt like
and
home.
yeah, me and you were talking a little bit, and you had said that every time you've competed, you've placed. So if
Yes,
you want to talk about being
absolutely.
home, that's kind of sounds like you're in your purpose.
Yes, sir. That's what it feels like. And I'm just blessed to even be into the bodybuilder world at this age group because it is a young man's game. But because I didn't tear my body up while I played sports, I didn't really hit the gym as hard. I focused more on conditioning when I was younger. That
Hmm.
now I'm able to, just really bring the density to these muscle groups. So it's been a good journey, man. I'm loving it.
So you said it's a young man's sport. How old are you?
I'm 46 years of age.
So you're 46
Yes,
and
sir.
looking better than most guys 20 years younger than you. You're
Yeah.
definitely blessed, brother. So let me ask you
Thank you.
this. So is it by class or is it by weight or by age? How
So,
you guys separated the divisions?
it's funny you said it because it's actually all of them. So
Okay.
when you get into the bodybuilding world, there's different classes that you want to start in. Like you want to start in novice just to get your feet wet, but once you go into novice, then they have open and they have masters. So
Okay.
the open is pretty much anybody, any age group. It's just coming in there to compete, and I compete in actually classic physique. I started off in men's physique, and then I moved to the division of classic physique.
So what's the difference
Now,
between the men's physique and the classic?
so with the men's physique, the judges are mainly looking for that beach body look, nice six pack, good chest, nice size arms. You wear board shorts, so you don't really have to show your legs off as much, but they do want to see some fullness in the legs. But when you come to classic physique, that's like in between um, men's physique and bodybuilding. So they want that more, aesthetic look. They want that symmetry. They want you to have that fullness and then definitely that conditioning. And
Mm-hmm.
at that
Mm-hmm.
point, you're in more of trunks at that time while you're competing.
Okay. So now, how tall are you?
I am 6'1" and a half.
So from what I've seen and heard over the years, it's like you guys are at a disadvantage than the more short and compact guys. Is that
Yeah, I
true?
mean, you just got to think about it like this, right? To fill a tall glass of water up versus to fill a small glass of water up, it doesn't take as much. For
Mm-hmm.
us, we have to fill up just muscle wise, just to bring the density to the muscle because we have such a tall glass to fill.
And so that's
So
appreciated by the judges.
absolutely. When a tall guy, especially now in the league, when we bring, some good muscle density, good symmetry, good conditioning with that and fullness, it definitely puts us in a good position now. I could say definitely in the past it was the short man's game, but tall guys starting to make a stand, man. We're starting to,
Okay.
put
Okay.
our foot in the game.
So let me ask you this. Speaking of the physique part of it, what is your strongest asset, you think?
Um, I would definitely say my back. I definitely, when I'm on stage, every time I turn around, I get good applause, I get woohoos. I've always, worked on my back from the moment I started in weightlifting and powerlifting. And for the most part, I've won shows from the back. I
So,
really,
not to give up all your game and your secrets, but what is some of the stuff you do? Are you like deadlifting, you squatting? Well,
I'm big on pull-ups. To be
okay.
honest with you, man, I'm very big on just, body aesthetics, body calisthenics, just making sure that your body itself can handle the weight that you're carrying.
Right,
And then
right,
as you
right.
add the weight on, I used to be an ego lifter where, I would deadlift like 400, 500 pounds. But
Hmm.
I noticed that that would bring me some fullness, but only to a certain extent. The muscle wasn't getting as much density. So now I work more so on a good moderate weight that can challenge me, but definitely work those reps out. I take it into a very dark place when it comes to those reps, man.
I'm sure you do, because like I was saying, it's not just a sport. It's a culture. I'm sure it takes a lot of time,
Yeah.
because I mean, you looking at you, that's years of muscle and working out,
Yes.
right?
It's a
Right,
way of
right.
life.
And so I'm saying that to say, I'm sure that takes a toll some kind of way on the family life. And I want to jump into that
Absolutely.
stuff when we come back after these messages on MNN Sports.
Champion Character Water, revitalizing not only your body, but your character as well.
Do you have it in you? What's up, y'all? Never mind. I'll talk to y'all later. On second thought, currently going on, I just want to know if y'all been checking out Marvel Not Network. Because currently we've got the 222 PC podcast. We've got MNN Sports that we're about to launch. And then a spin-off of the sports is All the Balls. So just want to put a bug in here and see if y'all was checking it out. And stay tuned for more on the Marvel Not Network. Thank y'all again for tuning in. We always appreciate when you hang with us. So when we left, DeCarlos was saying that he goes to a dark place sometime when he's working out. DeCarlos, take us there.
So, when we talk about a dark place, man, we're looking at isolation. We're looking at, determination. We're looking at frustration. When I have to have my meals at a certain time throughout the day, I have to be at the gym at a certain time throughout the day. The cardio has to be a certain amount. That takes a very huge toll on my family. I have two young kids. Fortunately, I was still able to have kids at this age and, really just bring these blessings in the world. And they're so active and I'm so involved in their life since day one that when I do go into my season, it's almost like daddy is just away from the home, even though I'm in the home,
So
right?
how
A
old are
lot
the
of times.
kids?
So my son, he's 9, he's about to be 10 pretty soon. And he's going to be an inspired bodybuilder. Like he loves posing and everything. And my daughter is 5.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And, when you have young kids like that, man, they always want to be around you. They always want to, kind of
Yes.
sit back
Yes.
and just hang out wherever you go. They want to go with you. And at times I want to go with them and hang out with them, but I can't because, certain meals that they want to eat and certain things that they want to do, I can't necessarily do with them because I am in season and that will affect the body and that will affect the mind.
Right. Right.
And if we're going in to win, man, we gotta kind of put ourselves in a different space.
Right. Well, no, I get that. I mean, and I feel the part when you're saying you want to be there for the kids, because those theta years, man, they're
Yeah,
vital. They're
yeah,
vital. So I
absolutely.
understand that.
Absolutely.
And so you're talking about the sacrifice, and I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah. You talking about a dad, man. I went to every single hospital visit. I was there with both of my kids when they were born. I took off work just to have that skin to skin in that first 3 weeks because it's so vital to have that time. My son, when he first came out, my wife was having some complications. So I changed his diaper the first time. I gave him the first bath. I fed him
Hmm.
day in and day out. And then on top of that, he lost weight after a week of being born. And so every 2 hours we had to feed him. And we're talking about I'm in a
Yeah.
cast because I just had that accident and
Right.
I'm laying
Right.
on
You're
the
still trying
end
to
of the
recover
bed.
yourself.
Exactly. And man, I'm laying on the bed with like my leg elevated and I got my alarm clock on. My wife, she would pump and she would give me the milk. And I would basically wake up every 2 hours. I would feed him. And then we would both lay back down. And then 2 hours would come up again and I would feed him. But just a true blessing from, just having the strength to do that was able to get him back into a good weight within 2 weeks' time. So now my
Man,
son is very healthy.
wow. Let's just pause for a second. I just want the audience to picture what you just said. You're recovering from a car wreck. Your wife's
Yeah.
recovering from a baby wreck, having a baby. The baby's recovering from coming into a brand new world, and y'all are all recovering, yet you have this thing that that is you're just, it's innate. You're just compelled to do it. Man, that has got to be tough.
Yeah, it was tough. And to put a little bit on top of that, which, I don't talk about as much, but it took my son 7 minutes to breathe when he first came out. So, I almost lost my wife, I almost lost my son at the same time. And then here it is, now I got to feed him into health. So going through that process gave me the discipline and gave me the fight and the drive to say, whatever I put my mind to, I'm going to definitely push myself 1,000%. Because if this young boy, I mean, not even old enough to even know his name right now, come out in this world and just fight, why can't I fight for him?
Yeah. And so that translates into the extra 2 repetitions, right?
Yeah. Put a couple of more plates on. Let's go in a couple of more reps. Let's put a couple of more minutes on that cardio, whatever it takes, man.
Man.
And like I said, that's what just gave me the blessing to place in every show that I've been in, because I have that drive, because, my son, my wife, they instilled that into me, just seeing how they were able to survive such, scary depths.
Right. Everything small to a giant, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. You mentioned your wife.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been married?
It's been 13 years.
Okay, 13 years. Now, where are you originally from?
I am originally from Chicago, Illinois.
And you're currently in South Carolina?
North Carolina. I'm in North Carolina.
Oh, you're in North Carolina. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And where did you meet your wife?
I met my wife in Texas.
Okay. Well, everything is bigger in Texas. So, yeah, I get that.
And trust, we didn't want to leave, but, it was just a job opportunity that drove us out here, a great opportunity, a blessing to help just not, rearrange the job opportunity, but also the lifestyle. So we took that opportunity. And I was also fortunate to do a show out here.
Okay. And what did you place in that show?
I placed top 3. I placed top 3 in Open, Classic Physique, and Masters Classic Physique.
So you've literally been in the game for 6 years?
Yep.
Wow, 6 years. And you have placed in every competition?
Yeah. After the show that I just recently placed in, I have been in 5 bodybuilding shows. I've placed in top 5 in each one of my shows. So I did the first show, Battle of Texas. I was top 5 in my division. Second show I did was the Europa. I placed first in men's physique, first in Masters men's physique, and then also third in Classic Physique. I placed again in another show in Texas, which was the championship show. And I placed top 2 and top 4 in Classic Physique and Masters. And I did another show in Texas, which was the Battle of Texas again. I came back because, 5th place the first time. I wanted to just come back and see with a definitely a different physique, more fuller, and I'm in a different division. Sheila, great promoter. We've always, kept in contact. She would help me with my posing and things of that nature. So I had the ability to get back in the show, and I placed top 2, which gave me my qualification for me to compete in a pro show.
And that's big, because I've seen that in Texas, the NPC, the amateur, is really big out here in Texas. So I'm sure you're going up against a vast amount of people. So like in one given show, how many people would you be going up against?
So when I was in men's physique, it would probably be over 60 competitors.
Oh, wow.
Just in my division alone, as far as my height class, there would probably be like 10 to 15 guys. And then, of course, after we compete in our division and compete against other divisions, we would, probably see about 60 guys that we'd be going against.
Wow. Okay. So again, that's 360 now, or 180. And you've placed every time.
Yeah. Every time.
That's too coincidental to be a coincidence, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure we're in the same place. So, which brings me to this. Do you remember we talked and I said, hey, man, do you think you're good at what you do? And you said, man, I'm damn good at what I do.
Absolutely.
What did I say to you?
You say, yeah, that means you were meant to do it. That means it was, pretty much your mode. That's what you were meant to do from day one. You're coming into what you were meant to do. Yeah.
And I also said, well, now you're no longer good. You're great.
You're great. Yeah.
Because that's greatness in the making.
Yes, sir.
You haven't lost. You've always won. You've always been paid back for that dark place you go to and sacrifice everything. It's coming into fruition. It's manifesting. And why? Not because you hoped it would. It's because you made it so. And I like to tell everybody that's trying to build anything, it's already there. You just have to walk to it.
Yes.
And it looks like, brother, you are definitely walking to it. So I have to ask you this. You being someone that's in front of the camera, that's someone that's getting fame, that's getting recognition, that knows what goes on behind the curtain. What would you tell someone, anyone, a kid, a grown-up, or anything that wants to aspire to be a bodybuilder? What would you tell them?
To be honest with you, man, I also train, and I have a lot of young individuals that I'll train.
Okay.
And, they see my physique at this age, and they're like, "Wow, you're 46. Oh my God, I want to be that look when I get that older, right?" And I love that because what we do in this bodybuilding world, it's not just about I'm buff and da 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 da. No, man. I mean, it's discipline, right?
Yes.
It's determination,
consistency.
Consistency, taking yourself to a level that you may not even think you've ever been or could go. Right?
Wow. And it's funny you say that, man, because we're big on knowing thyself. And that sounds like that's what you're saying.
Yes. And, and I tell these kids that I work with, and I tell anybody that, asks me, stay consistent, never give up, no matter what goes on. The main thing you can look at is that you're fixing your health first and foremost.
Right.
That was the first thing that even put me in a position to bodybuild, right? I was trying to get back into a good health from my accident.
Just to live.
Right, just to live, just to be there for my children, just to be there for my family, just to be back in a stable position where I can go back to work consistently and make sure bills are taken care of, and that we start building and developing towards our future. So as bodybuilding came into that world, it didn't change anything. It only made it better. It made me better at work. It made me better with my family. The consistency and the routine that I had to have, the determination to just always elevate. I mean,
and why it made you better?
There.
You know why it made you better? Because it's in you and not on you.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's definitely been organic, man. I just always feel like when I got into the world, like when I first did my first show, I almost didn't want to do another one because some of the things that you have to do behind it, the time that you have to take away from your family, some of the money that you had to put into it.
Right.
Hey, I have other things I had to push towards, but
I bet when you got that news that you placed, it knocked all that out the box, didn't it?
Knocked it clean out the box, man. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, I can only imagine, brother. I can only imagine, man.
Yes.
So let's back up a little bit. I want to talk about the wife a little more, because I know behind any man that's doing anything great, there is a great foundation from the woman principle behind them.
Yes.
So
my wife.
Tell me a little bit about how she's supporting you.
My wife is my backbone, man. I mean, she fixed all my meals. She helps me out with not just fixing the meals ahead of time. It's more so it's day to day at times that she'll fix the meals just so it could be fresh and so it could be more organic versus, in the Tupperware and things of that nature. Of course, I had to go through that at times, but she definitely helps me with that.
So you have to eat a
She
certain
works
amount of
out with
calories,
me.
I'm sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All season we can go from 35 to 5,000 calories a day.
Wow.
And then, once we start going into season and cutting down, we can come down as low as 1,500 calories a day.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
it's a huge jump, and that's why you got to have that balance. But, along with that, she also motivates me to, definitely keep going at work and keeps me going when I'm in the gym because she works out with me.
Oh, okay.
She's in the
Okay.
gym, pushing me, hitting the sets with me. If I'm at a very tired space,
Mm-hmm.
she'll push me even more like, hey, you want to win? You want this show? You want to take it? Let's go. Give me a couple more. So
Man, I
she's
bet that is
awesome with
so
that.
big, man. That is so
Yeah,
big.
and then along with that, as far as the recovery, right? When I had my accident, she was the main one there, helping me to get around, making
Right.
sure that, as my leg would have that inflammation, she would rub it out. She still does that to this day.
Wow.
She helps me with my lymphatic drainage and things of that nature because I did have my lymphatic system shot on my right side. So I have to keep active. Otherwise, my leg would swell. We're talking about blood clots and things of that nature
Understood.
because I never
Understood.
truly recovered. Yeah,
Overstood.
yeah.
So let me ask you this. With her being everything in the woman principle, let's talk about the woman part of the principle for a second. You're out there scantily clad. You understand me?
Yeah.
And so, how is she with the? What do we call the groupies in the sport? Do we call them the dumbbells? Or do we? How is she on that,
I
man?
think I'm
Honestly,
gonna
though,
take that one.
seriously, you can have that
I
one, brother. That's
mean,
yours. We might need
yeah,
to
yeah, I
coin
like
that.
that.
The dumbbells,
Yeah,
the
we
groupies
do.
in the
The
bodybuilding world are called the
dumbbell.
dumbbells.
Yeah, it's always going to be some fans out there, individuals that, like the physique that wants to kind of, go a little bit further. But for the most part, man, I'm well endowed in my wife, man. I mean, she's the light of my
No
life.
doubt. No doubt.
She's helped me through some dark places. So, the respect always comes to her first and foremost. Whatever she needs from me, whatever she feels, it's like, hey, you hold me down. I don't have time to waste with this, some temporary stuff. Like I'm more of
There
a
you
long
go.
term
I
guy.
love that. I love
Yeah,
that because
yeah.
new women don't massage you and make your meals and put them in
No,
Tupperware and keep them fresh and organic. You know what I'm
definitely
saying?
not.
Only Mama
And I
Bear does
really,
that.
yeah, they ain't
So
about
let's
that
not
life,
never
man.
forget that, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Well, hey, man, look, um, I need for you because you said you offer a service, and that's always the basis of anyone being interviewed on any venture on the Marvel Knot Network. And you offer a service. You said you actually train. So if
Yeah.
someone wanted to get into some training, how can they contact you?
Yeah, man, you can just hit me on any one of my social medias, man. I have Instagram, DeCarlos Fit Cyborg, at
Okay.
Instagram. I have TikTok, Facebook. And then, once you get in contact with me through those sites, and I'm getting the website set up pretty soon to
Okay.
just have all that listed. It's just been, just always on the grind. But now that, people are starting to kind of gravitate towards me and get that advice and get that knowledge and get that experience, I definitely want to give them the platform to just shoot straight to. But they can always hit me on my social media. You'll definitely have that in the link, I'm sure.
Yes,
So,
sir.
anything that they want to, ask, any advice, I'm always easy to answer, quick to answer. I'll get back to people, even,
Okay.
comments. I try to, answer people and give them some type of advice, even if I'm not around them or in their state.
Okay. Okay. And let me ask you this too. Where and when will you be on Showcase next?
So we're looking to do a show this November 2024. It will be in Greensboro, North Carolina. This is the Quincy show. It's a pretty big show out here. A lot of competitors come from North Carolina, South Carolina, even, Virginia. Even some people come out from Atlanta, I've heard.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
think this is going to be even bigger than the Shelby show I just placed in. So I'm looking to do big things in the show. The judges know who I am out here now. They definitely
Okay.
saw me, step on stage. So I'm ready to bring them something different come this November, man.
staying ready from having to get ready. Man,
Yes,
I love
sir.
it. I love it. Well, look, brother, I just want to say, man, that we really appreciate you coming on, man, taking us into that world, man. I have a newfound respect for it, because I understand, man, that, it's a give and take.
Yeah.
And just like life, just like everything else. But it looks like you are in good balance and good harmony.
Yeah.
And we only wish you the best. And whenever you want to offer a service, man, let us know. We'll be more than happy to open a platform for you. And also
Appreciate that.
get us that information for your next show. We'll get that out there for you too.
Copy that. Copy that.
All
I'll
right.
definitely get that over to you guys. Hey, man,
All
thank
right.
you guys once again for having me on your platform as well, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, man, thank you, man. And like I said, thank you for taking us into your world. I have a newfound respect. And so, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Mr. DeCarlos Hill, bodybuilder extraordinaire. Big things coming, big things to do. So remember that name, DeCarlos Hill. And if you like this interview, please remember to always share, like, subscribe, tap the notification, and get notified for brilliant content uploaded to you on MNN Sports. Good night.